Hi guys! So this video is going to be about Capricorn in love. You guys voted and the most votes, it was pretty tight, but the most votes was for Capricorn. So I'm going to start with Capricorn and just move my way like Aquarius, Pisces. So I'm sorry if you voted like Sagittarius. I don't mean to disappoint you, but we gotta start somewhere, and I promise if it takes me the rest of my life, I will complete this series. But I'm gonna complete this series, so you will eventually see the sign that you're looking for. So when it comes to Capricorn in love, I just want to say that you can apply this to your sun sign. I would probably apply it to either like my sun sign or my Venus. So if your Venus is in Capricorn, even your moon, but I would go with Venus primarily and your sun. So I kind of split this up into categories, and I'm going to go through those now, but don't forget that there's going to be a corresponding video having to do with Capricorn compatibility, and that will be coming out Friday. Also, before I jump into this, yes, my hair is way shorter than normal. I figured I'd address it because my hair is always long in videos. I didn't cut it. I just typically wear extensions, and I haven't been wearing them lately because they are giving me issues. Yeah, this is my real hair. It's very, very short and very thin, and I usually wear extensions. I'm sure they'll end up back in there somewhat soon. So if my hair goes from short to long, that's why, and that is why my hair is short. My hair sucks, so. But let's get into it. The basics are, you know, Capricorns, they tend to be really traditional. They're not really fond of like quick flings. They may go for a one-night stand, but as far as a fling goes, it's not really their thing. They're more into old-fashioned relationships. Old-fashioned, you know, the way things used to be. Just appreciate a title, they appreciate the structure of that. They just don't really like the vagueness of like a fling or a relationship that they don't really know what's going on or what they are to the other person, what the other person is to them. So that's not to say that they're against one-night stands. They do enjoy sex for sex. They just don't like the area in between like a one-night stand and a relationship. They don't like that gray area. They can be devoted when they're in love and also very loyal. And they're gonna expect that same commitment and respect in return. And if they feel like they aren't getting it, then they're definitely gonna be turned off. They really need to feel 100% commitment from the other person involved. So if you're interested in a Capricorn, don't play games to try to get with them or hook them. It just simply won't work, especially not in the long run. These are some signs that they're maybe interested, not quite in love yet. If you have like a crush on a Capricorn, if you're dating one and you're not sure. So the first thing is that they will probably be awkward around you, and this is more so if you like are really just starting to get to know each other, you haven't dated yet, maybe you go to the same school, you work together, so they might be really awkward around you, like they can't really seem to talk properly, they don't talk at all, they kind of grunt, their voice sounds weird, like they just act a little peculiar. That is a sign that they might be interested in you. They might kind of just show up at places you are, and I don't necessarily mean this in a stalker way, although you never know. You know, if there's like a work event going on or like a school football game, they might know that you would go to that sort of thing. Or, you know, they might normally not go to that sort of thing. They'll kind of show up there, or they might know that you hang out at a certain coffee shop or bar, and they'll kind of just appear there. So going along with that, they probably won't directly approach you, but they'll put themselves in the position to be around you where maybe you can approach them or your paths just might cross. They want to seem like they just ran into you, you know, like you're just out running errands and you run into each other. They might reach out to you online, whether it's like online dating or Instagram. They might like go on your DMs. What's the trend? Slide into your DMs. Back in my day, you know, people instant messaged on AIM. That's not a thing anymore. Really showing my age. Yeah, they might get your number and text you, stuff like that. If you get to know each other a little bit better, you know, you'll notice that they tease you, they might like poke fun at you, and maybe it might seem a little annoying, but that's just kind of how they are around people that they like. You also might notice that, again, if they're starting to talk to you, that's my phone, they're gonna contact you frequently, like they're gonna, you know, put in the effort once you guys start talking to talk to you, you know, every day, a couple times a day. You might also notice that they get you like a gift, like maybe they got you a box of chocolates or some flowers. I mean, they probably won't do it so romantically at first though. It'd probably just be like a little gift, like, I'm trying to think of an example. Maybe they'll pick you up a coffee because they know you like it, like stuff like that. And then as things, progress a little, if they're introducing you to somebody that they know, that's definitely a sign that they're interested in you. One last thing while we're on signs that they're interested, Capricorns do move slowly, so they're not the type to just jump into a relationship typically. So if you feel like things are going slowly, that's actually a good sign because it means that they're taking you seriously. So now we're moving on, you guys have been dating, you're in a relationship, and you want to know if this person is actually in love with you. First things first, they're going to actually make time for you. Capricorns tend to be, very busy, and they like their space, and whether they're busy with school or work or a hobby, like they tend to put a lot of their time and energy into that. So if they're taking and creating time for you and making sure that you guys are spending time together, that is definitely a sign that they love you. They are going to genuinely enjoy being around you, and they will go out of their way to make themselves available to you. Another sign is you might notice they start putting up pictures of the two of you, or reminiscing about the good times you guys have had together. They might bring up a really nice date the two of you had and just kind of talk about it in a way that they seem happy about it. They're remembering it in a good way. And you might notice they do little things like that, oh, remember when we went to that restaurant, or remember when we saw that movie and that was so much fun and we just laughed the whole time, they're in love. Capricorns also might show they love you, materialistically or through gifts or finances, and that's just how they are. Like I said, they might get you gifts, they might do it frequently, just as little ways to show that they're thinking about you, stuff that they pick up on that you really like. They also might just start working harder to get promoted because they want to be with you and they want to be able to provide for you. And that's just something that's important to Capricorn, so you might notice that they're working more, but it could be because they're trying to get their finances in order. So they also might take a promotion, or they might pay for you, stuff like that. It's just stuff that they typically like to do. Another way to know if a Capricorn is truly in love with you, and you could say this for any sign, but this is very important for Capricorns specifically because they tend to really hide their true emotions. They're not great with feelings. So if you notice that they're opening up to you and they're showing you their soft side, that's my memory card always fill up. So where was I? So I'm saying, like I was saying, Capricorns tend to really hide their emotions. They're really not good with feelings. So if you notice that they're opening up to you, they show you their soft side, they truly seem to be themselves around you, that is definitely a sign that they love you. They don't open up to many people in their lives. There's usually only a few. So if you're one of them, consider yourselves very important to that Capricorn. They're super guarded, and if they're dropping their guard around you, that's a major sign that they love you. Another thing is if you notice them making improvements in their life, and it's due to things that you've said, you're challenging them to be a better person, you're encouraging them to grow, and they're actually listening to you and doing these things, it's definitely another sign that they love you. Another thing is, have you met their friends? Have you met their family? If you have, big sign. If they're including you in a lot of fun family little traditions, maybe they bring you to Christmas dinner, or you go to their grandfather's birthday or something like that, and they involve you in events that are important to them and to their family or to their friends, that is a sign that they consider you very important and that they love you. So this one's super obvious, but it's again specifically Capricorn. They propose to you. So typically this would be more like a Capricorn man. It could be a woman. I'm not saying anything. But if they are proposing to you, or either gender is talking about the next step like marriage, that means they're thinking about you very seriously, because they take that very seriously and they wouldn't just marry anybody for the heck of it. And if they're thinking about you in that way, and that is definitely a sign that they love you. I mean, Capricorns, they want that traditional relationship. They want to take, the steps towards marriage for the most part. Most of them eventually want that. If you guys have been together for quite some time and they haven't mentioned engagement or marriage, I would definitely explore that, because that's very strange. And last but not least, they will laugh a lot around you. Capricorns can really take themselves very seriously, and it's really good for them to have somebody that can help them lighten up and provide entertainment so that they can be entertaining themselves. You know what I mean? Sometimes they just get too bogged down in reality. So if you notice they laugh a lot around you and they seem light and they're not, super stressed all the time, that is definitely another sign that they love you. Whether you've already been dating, whether you've never dated, So number one, is you've played games with them and they just seem to like have lost interest. If you're playing games with them, like I said, they do not like vague things. So if you are actually serious, make sure you let them know ASAP, because once they get that sense that that's what you're doing, they're just gonna move on. If you are the type that tries to make them jealous by talking to other guys, other girls, you know, to try to get a rise out of them, they're probably also going to lose interest and they're just not gonna be into that. Like they don't like all that stuff. If you notice that they still have like an old ex around, or someone they used to date, that they talk to, that they're friends with, and they seem to like keep talking to them, keep being friends with them, even if you've like mentioned it annoys you or something, I would definitely take that as a sign that they are not that interested. Capricorns tend to keep people in their lives that are important to them. They tend to be nostalgic, so if they have somebody like that, just be very wary that this person is still involved in their lives. They try and change you. If they're trying to change you, it definitely means that they probably aren't interested, because they're trying to make you into something that you're not. And Capricorns can be a bit bossy, but controlling, but if they're trying to really like change things about you, I would just step away from that relationship, because I don't think they genuinely are interested at that point. On the other hand, if they tell you that you're too controlling, or if they make little comments about you being bossy, I would definitely take that as a sign that they might be losing interest, or they don't have 100% interest. Capricorns don't like to be bossed around or controlled. I mean, they like to be challenged and they like a little bit of healthy competition, but if you're noticing that they say stuff like that a lot, it's not a good thing. If you're sensing that they don't trust you, or you've given them a reason not to trust you in the past, perhaps like cheating or lying, definitely a sign that they might be thinking about moving on. They don't want to be with somebody that they can't trust. It's just too important to them, and they're not going to stick around that long. If they seem to compete with you like constantly, and it's past the point of healthy competition, and maybe you guys work together or you're involved in some of the same activities, and they're just trying to beat you constantly and win, and I don't mean like physically beat you, but they're always trying to win, it's definitely a sign that they see you more as like a competition and they're just not as interested in you as a relationship. You're not seeming to fit in with their family or friends. Maybe they used to invite you and they're not anymore. That's a huge sign that they are losing interest. And if you don't seem like you need them, like if they feel like they can't do anything for you to like kind of help you or like provide, you know, that shoulder, not necessarily like cry on, but be somebody that they can rely on, if they feel like they're not that person for you, then they might, you know, move on. So that is Capricorn in love. Sorry to end on like the not interested bits, but I figured I would throw those out there for those of you that wonder or ask me. You guys ask me about these topics a lot, so I figured I'd make videos about them. So that is all. If you have any questions, leave them down below, and stay tuned for Friday's video about Capricorn compatibility, and I will see you then, and have a good day or night.